Hi everyone and welcome back to Elden Ring. So I just wanted to address why I stopped the other playthrough again. Basically I was not satisfied with the quality of said playthrough, mainly because I really had my head in a different space. Like I was still exploring the game. I wanted to make a second character. This one over here. This is my Ice Witch. And we will talk about her in a little bit. But yeah, I was just like, I wanted to try out stuff. I wanted to get more experience with the game, especially with the later stages, because those were a little bit rushed on my initial playthrough, because I wanted to get to the end after like 60 hours of exploring and stuff, right? So that really made a dent into the quality. Also, let's not forget, the PC port, honestly, it's not that optimized and it shows. Like, it shows. You get stuttery frames, you're basically... It's hard to keep 60 FPS going. And probably for the playthrough that we will do soon, it's in the works right now, actually. I probably will render this out in 30 FPS, to be honest, just so you don't see the stutters that much. You probably will still see the big stutters, the big FPS drops, but I hope that that will smoothen it out a little bit, and I think it will be fine with 30 FPS, to be honest. But yeah, I also like to announce that there will be a playthrough starting soon. That will not be just your playthrough. It's more of like a guideline of how I like to build characters, right? I like to do it the purist's way. Since Dark Souls 1 I've done it that way. Like, I go through the PvE to reach the level I want to end. I now have this and the first character on level 150. I would like to get the build that we are making for the next playthrough to around 125. I think that's a very solid state to be in for duels. Yeah, and just honestly, as I said, it's not really a guide per se. We will be skipping stuff and just going through it in a way that I think is not only efficient but also fun, right? Because that's something that is very important to me personally, and I want to see how the build develops, how it plays. I want to know the strength and the weaknesses of it while playing through PvE, and yeah, that's pretty much the idea behind the playthrough that will be starting soon. As I said, already working on it, and yeah, so far I'm very happy with how it turned out so far. So yeah, very excited to show you the run through. It will be a lengthy one, obviously, because this game is just huge. But yeah, I think we should commit to that and have a good series about Elden Ring on the channel. Will this affect other games like Path of Exile? Yes, surely. At the moment, I do not play anything else than Elden Ring. We might go back to PoEs. I don't know if we come back to it this league or not. But yeah, that's besides Elden Ring. Just a quick mention, I guess. So yeah, let's move to a spot where we can show off this build a little bit and talk about it and take a closer look. Alright, it is now morning. We are here at Gatefront, and yeah, just to go over the spells and stuff and gear and why do I wear this armor set? Just for fashion, honestly, there's no benefit to it. But if you take a look at the stats, you can see I only have 10 endurance, so I need some light armor, and that's why I ended up on here. I have 60 vigor, 38 mind, 12 strength, 18 dex for weapon requirements, and 75 intelligence. We reach 80 with our talisman here. Stargazer's Heirloom gives you 5 int, as you can see. It goes down to 75 without it, back up to 80. We also use Radagon Icon for shortening the spell casting time. That works out very, very good. And I have the Draven School Talisman here, raises potency of sorceries. I know there's a better version of this, I just didn't go out of my way to find it. And also the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman, which enormously boosts physical damage negation. If you take a look at it, if you would go away from this one, we lose like a lot of defenses, right? That's more than 50% added to physical defenses, so yeah, that's how I smoothened out defenses a little bit. It's not enough. I still get absolutely decimated by a certain boss in this game, but other than that, most of the bosses were very cool and decent to do with this build. We are using Lusat's Glintstone Staff, fully upgraded. I was using the Demi-Human Queen Staff a long time, just to test it out, and I think for how early you get this, once you reach a certain level and you get access to the A and later on the S in scaling, it's pretty good. The sorcery scaling, though, as you can see, is through the roof with Lusat's. It also makes sense because your spells will be costing more FP, but that's okay, right? In my offhand, I have an Iron Round Shield with Golden Parry. That was just an experiment, but I really do like it for PvP situations. Our main hand weapon is, of course, the Moonveil plus 10. How could we not use this? It's insanely good. The weapon art is absolutely awesome and will tear through bosses if you don't want to cast or you don't have to at the time to cast, right? For crits, we have a magic, Misericorde. I really enjoy this dagger, 140 crit rating, and we basically did slap an Ash of War on this, the Carrion Greatsword, and made this magic just to gain a stupid amount of crit damage. And yeah, my flasks, I went for 8 life flasks and 6 mana flasks. This works out pretty nicely for most situations we are in. And for the Wondrous Physic, I have the magic attack boost in here, as well as the Cerulean Hidden Tier, which is really... It started out as a bit of a meme for me, but then I started to really enjoy it, because, yeah, just like 8 seconds or 10 seconds of no FP consumption is actually very, very decent. Now, for PvE, I was testing out Mimic Tier after the nerf. I don't really like it, though, so this could be anything, honestly. But the real winner was Black Knife Tish. This summon absolutely shreds bosses if she gets her special attack off, and it's amazing to watch. Oh, there's the wrong item in here. Oh no! Yeah. So, while we are in this menu, why is the Tarnished Finger in here as well as the Blue Cipher Ring? So, I see this as a Dark Moon Witch, right? It's an Icy Witch, obviously, because I love that, right? So, I thought it would only make sense to be a Dark Moon Blade, right? Like in Dark Souls 1 and 3, that was probably the Covenant that I enjoyed the most. And what you can do with this is you go in and help out players that are getting invaded as a Blue Phantom, and I really, really enjoy that. I do invade fairly often in this game, but sometimes you just want to be the helpful man. Or woman in this case, and just help people out, right? But yeah, let's go over some of the spells, or all of the spells I'm currently using and testing. We start with the staple. Rocksling, early on, absolute powerhouse. You summon 3 boulders and you basically delete stuff against bosses. This is really nice. It has amazing stagger potential and it's just all around a lot of fun to use. So this one, honestly, from early game until now, I'm still using this, and it's still very, very useful. Founding random stars is just something I'm testing out right now. It seemed like a lot of fun. It's not that useful though. Get out your Vuvuzela. Yeah, there we go. You cast it, and as you can see, it's a good area denial tool, and it does a good amount of damage, but it's just not really what I'm going for. Samor Ice Storm, on the other hand, also really good in area denial. Also very decent in proccing Frostbite, and you can channel it, and you get like a second wave and bigger AoE out of it. Can we channel this before he hits me? No, we cannot. Okay, let's try this again. Bam! An initial hit and a lingering hitbox. Very nice, very cool, really enjoy that. Carrion Phalanx. This is the bread and butter in PvP, just to get rid of someone really quickly. And the spell I really wanted to use throughout the game is Rani's Dark Moon. Now this does decent damage, but also debuffs your enemies, so that's very useful. Now, I was using like the Pebble and stuff in the beginning, but I went to Amber Shard relatively quickly. As soon as I got this, I knew I was in for a treat. Can we get Spear Guy to just turtle up? Yes, so you cast this behind the enemy and sling it towards you and get the enemy in the back, which is very useful indeed. Yeah, my main spell though is Adula's Moonblade. I really enjoy that. This one also procs Frostbite on enemies relatively often. And not only do you summon this greatsword in, right, you also shoot out a trail of ice, as you see there. And that procs the Frostbite, and that's a lot of fun. Honestly, really good tool to use. And I really, really do enjoy it. And you might think, yeah, okay, that's cool, that's some ice spells, that's some other spells, what else did you use? I experimented a little bit with, let's see, early on, as I said, Glintstone Pebble, as well as Glintstone Arc. Glintstone Arc was just useful when multiple enemies were chasing, and Glintstone Pebble, I mean, 11 FP for decent damage, that's cool. I then tested out Swift Glintstone Shard, only costs 8 FP, does a little bit less damage, but honestly very, very good because it fires the projectiles faster, which is cool. I then went on to Glintstone Comet Shard, which I enjoyed really a ton as well, just the damage was very good. Golder's Armament, didn't use this one at all because my weapons are already magic infused, right? Starlight was it was fun to use from time to time. The obvious one that I did was Terra Magica in combination with Comet Azure. With the flask I have, you could just indefinitely cast this, or like for 10 seconds. And some bosses you could just delete with this, yes. Stars of Ruin, fun spell as well. Really hard to dodge in PvP. Magic Glintblade, also a very cool spell, especially against PvE, because the bosses will dodge on cast, and then they will get hit by the blades that will be following. So, very good as well. I had a lot of fun with Loretta's Great Bow, also very cool. Eternal Darkness was also very useful in certain boss fights where there was a lot of sorcery going on from enemies. Basically just a defensive tool. Glintstone Ice Crack, I wish this would be better. The range is just not there. Freezing Mist was fun just to run around with and test it out, but I didn't see the usefulness too much. Night Shard and Night Comet I honestly did not test out too much. Carrion Retaliation, didn't test this. Also a good tool though, defensively, so yeah. Shattering Crystal and Crystal Release, these are very fun in PvE again. Gravity Well I didn't use at all, although this could be fun and useful in PvP. Meteorite of Astel. To be honest, this one's a fun one. If you have an enemy that doesn't move, this one is a whole bunch of fun, not gonna lie. But yeah, let's talk about the weapons and the shield for that matter. For crits, obviously, we use our dagger. Can we get a backstab on this guy? Yeah, we can. 1695. That's a lot of damage. If we do compare this to our Moonveil, how much do we get? Oh, that's a bummer, because that was not a backstab. 1438, which is also not bad. Now, I wonder if I did have the stealth bonus applied to me. Let's check. Oh, yeah, that's kind of the problem now. Oh, a brass shield. Heyo! Let's get Spear Guy over here. Hey, man. Can you give me... Bang. Oh, no. There we go. 1695. No, I didn't have any bonus, so... Yeah, really good crits. Golden parry on the shield. Didn't mean to do that. Oh, God. Can I parry the spear, actually? I wanted to backstab. I wanted to backstab there. It did not work. Okay, I'm just... Apparently I cannot do this today. That's okay. Can you come here? 24-29 on a parry with the dagger. Oops. God, I suck at parrying with those shields. It's just because I played with the buckler so much lately. Ah! Normal attack, please. Just a very normal attack. That's bad on my part. Oh my god, I cannot parry this guy. What is going on? There we go. 1824. So yeah, as you can see, the dagger is insanely good. Like, those crits are just chunky. Like, really meaty, which is amazing. Also, the weapon art on our dagger. It's just fun to use. Honestly, really, really fun. Now, this weapon art you are all familiar with, I would assume. Really cool that you can... Light attack is a horizontal one, and the heavy attack is the vertical one. Really cool. Very good tool, especially in PvP. If you come across this, it's annoying. It's really, really annoying, and I know that. So in PvP, I mostly use the dagger in conjunction with golden parry, which is actually very useful. Don't get me wrong. So yeah, that sums this build up pretty neatly, I would say. So upgrades I could get is a better sorcery booster here, and maybe switch out this one at some point, but I don't think I will, honestly. I do enjoy this one quite a bit. Also, we could make use of the Great Rune of Godric, and this would do a substantial boost, actually. We reach 1930 health with this. Good amount of FP plus there. Honestly, the endurance, I was surprised. I was like, I want 100 stamina, right? That's my baseline. So 15 in endurance is my baseline, basically. I just didn't need it, honestly. Which is fine. That's really fine. But also, I want to showcase something about a Duelist Moonblade. Like, it shines when you are surrounded, so... Please, can you alert your buddies? Thank you. Let's just let them group up for a bit. Yes, all of you, come in. And let's cast this. This is absolutely bonkers. Like, you decimate whole groups with this. If they block it, yeah, sure, they block it, but they will get frostbitten. And it's just, honestly, so much fun to use. I love the animation on this. I love how the cold projectile fires off in the distance, and it's just so pretty. But yeah, as I said, this is all about this build. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this particular build and have gotten some inspiration. Honestly, sorcery, I always struggled to complete a run with sorceries in every single Souls game I've played. I just never really gotten into it. With Elden Ring though, that one was really cool, and it might just be the look of the sorceries, but yeah, this one is just one of the greatest sorceries I've ever seen in a game. So yeah, that's definitely it. Thank you so much for watching again, and as always, take care. Bye.